Hey guys, so today's video I am going to be sharing with you all of the books that Penguin sent me from winning the Booktubeathon giveaway that Penguin platform hosted. This was for submitting my Booktubeathon TBR, and I was not expecting how many books Penguin was going to send me, so just a huge thank you to Penguin for being so generous. I honestly was blown away by everything that I received. So let's get into this. I actually have a total, I counted them, of 19 books they sent me. It is all young adult, so I am set with young adult until the end of the year and probably then some. And something cool is that I actually don't own any of these books. I have read a couple of the books from the library, but I didn't own any of them, so no repeats, which is really just exciting. And there's a lot of titles in here that I have never heard of before, so I'm excited to share them with you. Also, because this was sent from the UK, I do have a couple of UK editions that are a little different from the American editions. Let's get into the books. I'm just grabbing them from the top of the box. This is in no order at all. This is one I hadn't heard of before. It is called The Smoke Thieves by Sally Green. It says a princess, a soldier, a hunter, a traitor, a thief. And I have never heard of this before, but it is just such a beautiful color. Look at that purple. It sounds like it's a mix of a couple different stories happening at the same time. It just says on the back, in Brigand, Princess Catherine prepares to marry a man she's never met while her true love faces the executioner's block. In Calidor, a downtrodden servant March seeks revenge on the prince who betrayed his people. In Pretoria, Etienne stands at a crossroads, family and fortune one way, destruction the other. And in the barren northern territories, Tash is facing her demons, literally. So this sounds like a really fantastic book, and it's just so stinking beautiful. Moving on, I am really excited that I got The Hazelwood by Melissa Albert. I've heard quite a few things about this. Also, it is the UK edition. It sounds like this girl named Alice has to go into this place called the Hazelwood, which is her grandma's fairy tale setting, I guess, to rescue her mother. Does that make sense? I haven't read it, but it sounds really good and really good for fall. So excited. I'm excited about all of these, so I should just stop saying excited after every single book. This one I've seen quite a bit of buzz on Instagram actually lately, and it's called All the Beautiful Strangers. This is also a different edition from the American edition, so I love the rainbow ombre. I mean, how pretty is that? It sounds like this is a story of some family secrets. Don't really know much more about it. If you've read any of these, definitely let me know, because a lot of these I don't really know much about. Next, The Sun is Also a Star. I actually listened to this on audiobook a few months ago, and I did really enjoy it. This is a book that is a little insta-lovey, so if you have an issue with that, this one you may have an issue with, but I did really end up liking it. I think I gave it 5 stars, and this takes place during one day in New York City, and it's this guy and this girl kind of at a really big turning point of their lives, and they meet on this very important day, and the story goes from there. It's one day. I don't want to spoil anything, but I did enjoy it, and I'm happy to have a physical book now because, like I said, I listened to it on audio, so it will be good for me to read it too. Another one I hadn't heard of before, it's called Undercover Princess by Connie Glenn, and seriously, all of these covers are just the cutest things ever. This is like a swapping lives kind of story. It seems like there's these two girls, one who's just an ordinary regular girl, and then one is a princess, and they decide to swap lives. They're in like a boarding school of sorts, I believe, and the story goes from there. So next I have Warcross by Marie Lu, and yes, I'm going to read this. I want to read this. What's that called? That reality? Virtual reality gaming, I believe. I heard good things about this. I'm excited to read it, and I have it in hardcover now, which this box is so exciting. The next 2 books I am super pumped for because I haven't read them yet, and everyone's been talking about them for quite a while now. I have Love, Simon, which I guess they retitled it Love, Simon, but it's Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda. And then I also have Leah and the Offbeat. So I have both of these. I will most likely read these back to back since they are kind of like a duology of sorts, and by Becky Albertalli. Sorry, I didn't say that. I also haven't watched the movie yet, so after I read Love, Simon, I will be watching the movie, and I'm just so excited to have both of these now. I can read them. Okay, so next I have The Book of Dust, which is volume 1 of La Belle Sauvage. I don't know how this is actually pronounced, by Philip Pullman, who is the author of The Compass, Golden Compass, The Golden Compass. And I read that series back when I was younger, and I really loved the Golden Compass series. I thought they were so fantastic. I didn't know that he'd come out with a new book, so I will definitely be reading this. Next, another book I haven't heard of before, and that's called Tradition by Brendan Keeley. cool little like prep school-y kind of cover. What it says on the back is, after a school party ends in disaster, the two characters discover terrible truth. Can they stand together against Fulbrook's most toxic traditions? I've never heard of this or the author before, so if you have, let me know. This is probably the cutest book in this whole box. I'd never heard of it before either, and it's called Dodie, I don't really know. Secrets for the Mad, Obsessions, Confessions, and Life Lessons. And just this whole book is just so cute. Everything about this book, I mean, it's going to be all over my Bookstagram because every single page is just, it almost seems like this is a journal of sorts. I'm not really sure exactly what it is, but I'm definitely going to give it a shot and read it because it is so cute. So this is another book I haven't heard anything about. It's called Spellbook of the Lost and Found by Maura Fowley Doyle. She's the author of The Accident Season, which I haven't read yet, but I think I've heard good mixed things about that one. This one I am planning on reading in the fall time because it just seems like such a good fall atmospheric read. It's about two girls and they find this spell book, I believe. They conjure back some things that were never supposed to come back or something like that. Sounds super creepy and mysterious and perfect for fall. There are two more books that also kind of go together. I haven't read either of these. I have Leigh Bardugo's Wonder Woman. I also have Sarah J. Maas's Catwoman, Soul Stealer. So I haven't read either of these books. I feel like they're in the same-ish series. Are they not? Are they connected? I'm pretty sure Wonder Woman came out first. So I will probably read Wonder Woman and then I will read this one. And I've heard some mixed things about them, but they really just sound like fun reads. I'm not gonna go into these with high hopes and I'm just gonna read them hoping for a good time. So let me know if you've read either of these and which one you think is better so I can start with that one, or if the order actually matters, which they may not even be in the same series. Like, they may be completely separate books, but for some reason I think they go together. Whatever. Another book I haven't heard anything about. This I think was one of the highest rated ones though on Goodreads when I looked it up, so I'm surprised that I hadn't heard of it before, but it's called Eve of Man by Giovanni and Tom Fletcher. It just says on the back, against all odds, she survived, the first girl born in 50 years. They called her Eve. And once again, I mean, the cover is just absolutely stunning. It just looks like gold dust. It's just kind of sparkled all throughout. It's really, really beautiful. Sounds like it may be science fiction dystopian-y. Not too sure, but that's just the vibe that I'm getting from it. I have The One Memory of Flora Banks by Emily Barr. This one I do remember hearing a little bit about, and I forget if the reviews were good for it or not, but it sounds like this girl named Flora, she has amnesia, and then one day she kisses someone and she remembers it, and it's like one of her first memories. So there's some weird, I don't really know what this book would be classified as, if it's contemporary or if there's some magical realism. There may be no magic in this book, but kind of sounds like something magical happen. And next I have one that I've also read before, Everything Everything by Nicola Yoon, and I'm happy that I have this one because I remember when I was reading it there were some cute illustrations in this book, and I just remember thinking, oh, I wish I had taken pictures of that and I wish I could look at that again. So I think this was a really cute book and I am definitely glad to have it in my possession. I also have Unfiltered by Lily Collins. So this is a nonfiction, which I do kind of want to read some nonfiction now, especially after talking to some girls at Book Nut Fest. The final book in the box is Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. So I read this book last year, pretty much a year ago. I read it from the library, so I didn't own it, so I am happy to have it in my possession because I just like John Green. I did have some problems with this book, but I'm glad that I have it because there's some people I think who I know in my real life who have wanted to read it, and I now have it and can share that with them. So I am glad that I do have it. Those are all of the books that Penguin sent me. I am still overwhelmed by the amount of books I received from them. I honestly was just expecting maybe like a handful of books, and then I got this box that was 7.5 kilograms, which is just, that's a lot of books. That is so heavy, shipping all the way over from the UK. So thank you so much. And then they also included this cute little tote bag, which I just think is really cute and just nice of them to throw in as well. So that wraps up my book unboxing, and just please let me know which of these books you've read and if you've liked them, if you think I should prioritize reading them. Thank you for watching and happy reading.